morning, Tottenham fans. I thought I'd let the dust settle before I spoke about yesterday's game against Wolves. I wanted to get myself a logical mind and just try and look at it as a bigger picture rather than just yesterday's 90 minutes. And if we're all in agreement, we can all say yes, have got some glaring issues. Frank did make some decisions yesterday that we could all probably agree on that we wouldn't have agreed with. But the abuse online that I've seen, that Frank's on fraud watch and he's, dull manager and he's too pragmatic, and if we don't get set pieces, we're never going to score. And there's so many things I heard, and lots of players are getting called out as well. There's a few that I want to call out actually in this video as well. But let's just go with the lineup, how it all started. So this was what was causing controversy between the fans, and this is what was dividing the fan base. Frank started a home match against bottom of the league Wolverhampton Wanderers with two defensive midfield players. Also starting Xavi on the left. So fans were already frustrated with that, which I can honestly understand. But in Frank's defence a little bit, if he played Sarr, he probably would have played Sarr if Sarr didn't have a knock for the last 3 games. I didn't think he wanted to play Sarr for the full 90 minutes, which is why I think he went with Bentancur. I think if Sarr was fully fit, I think he would have gone with him. But yes, I don't think you should go into a home game with 2 defensive midfielders. I would have even played Archie Gray if Sarr weren't available to start the game. Archie Gray's more progressive passer, in my opinion, than Bentancur is. But anyway, he went with that, and it turned out not to be the right decision. I think the first half went really, really well. I think it was okay. I even put on Twitter, how the hell have we not scored in that first half? Because we did have the chances to do it. We were creating problems. Kudos was causing a lot of problems for the opposition, but it wasn't to be. And we did score a really good goal as well, but it was offside, obviously. But it was a brilliant, well-taken goal. Kudos doing a 1-2 with Bergvold's back flick, and Kudos belted it into the top corner, but it was offside, obviously. But there were glimpses of us having to have a breakthrough. I never thought in the first half that Wolves really threatened us. I don't think they had a shot on target either. So it was going okay for the first 45 minutes, but in the second half, when Wolves got completely dominant on us and completely all over us, things didn't really change personnel-wise, and I just think that Frank could have changed things quicker. I think he should have stopped with this 2 in the midfield as soon as we went 1-0 down. He should have changed that up straight away, but he didn't. But yeah, so there's a lot of gripes between what fans are saying about what Frank's did in that lineup and etc. like that. But also, I want to say it's his 8th game in charge. Well, 9 if you count the PSG game, but 8 games in charge. And he's won 5 of them, drawn 2 and only lost 1. So we need to put it in perspective and get your logical brain out and say, look, I know it was a poor performance yesterday, but it was only a poor second half, I'd say. But we still managed to clinch an equaliser at the end. These are the sort of games we lost last season. We didn't get that equaliser at the end. We ended up losing. Remember, we lost to Wolves, I think, twice last season. We lost to Brighton twice last season. But we came back in both those games and got a point, rather than losing like we normally do. And I'm not saying, wow, we drew with Brighton, wow, we drew with Wolves. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying it's acceptable for Spurs to think it's okay to draw with these teams. But what I'm trying to say is, these are the matches we used to lose, and now we're getting the points on the board rather than getting 0, getting nothing. So if you look at Richarlison up front as well, he's the only option Frank has in a number 9 role at the moment, because Mawani has got the longest dead leg in history. Solanke has been injured since last season and he still hasn't come back yet. Those 2 have still got to come back yet as well, and they will dramatically boost our forward options, because at the moment Richarlison's just not doing it for me. He scored those 2 goals against Burnley on the first day of the season, but he hasn't really done much since. Honestly, I'm trying not to slag the players off, and I'm trying not to single people out. I love Richarlison, I love his work rate, blah blah blah, but if you want ambitions Like the board keeps saying, we want to get into the top four. We want to win trophies. Richarlison can't be leading the line. He's not that deadly striker that we need. I think we were just blessed to have players like Kane and Sonny. We've been so used to it for the last 10 years. And when I see Richarlison play, he can't hold up the ball. I thought he was there to hold up the ball, for the strength to hold up the ball. He doesn't. What happens is he gets it and he falls on the floor. And that's all he ever does. He just looks for the foul every single time. His link-up play is very, very poor. He's not very quick. And we put the ball in to him a few times yesterday and he didn't win any of the headers. So yeah, for me, we need Mawani and Solanke back, and that will solve that problem of Richarlison being up front. Obviously, we have 4 attacking players missing, so that's something that could be solved. Frank is still learning what his players can do, so that's another thing that we need to give time to. Frank is still learning this squad. He just came in the summer, like midsummer as well. He's done a few friendlies with us, and these are the competitive games that Frank will learn a lot from. And you can say when we played Bournemouth and we lost that game, and we had 2 defensive midfielders then, I thought he would have learned from that, but maybe this time this is the last straw for him. It might be a lack of options. Like I said, Sarr had a knock and maybe he didn't want to play him for 90 minutes. But again, I would have played Archie Gray maybe. This is leading, we're having 4 attacking players missing, and obviously Frank doesn't trust Odebertel or Johnson to play on that left, and this is leading to creativity problems. And again, this is another thing that Spurs fans are a little bit worried about. We're not creating many chances unless it's from long throws, corners or set pieces. And for me, what he needs to do to solve this issue is just trust someone on that left. Make him your number 1 choice on the left and keep him there, but not Xavi. Xavi is another situation I'll talk about in a minute, but we need, let's just say, name out the hat, Matisse Tell. Say to Matisse Tell, you're my number 1 left winger. I want you to prove to me that you can take this spot, and I don't need to sign anyone in January. If he can't do that, then sign someone in January who can, because if he's not trusting, all 3 of them can play on the left-hand side, and he's choosing to play our only number 10 on the left, which is taking his creativity away. And Xavi, I have to say this, was awful. He was absolutely awful. And if people say the only reason why he was awful was his playing on the left, I don't buy that for a second. Because I have to be equal. When Johnson or Richarlison play badly, I call it out. Or if anyone plays badly, I call it out. Xavi was awful. I know everyone loves him. He's our his shiny player. But if you're saying he just played on the left, that's why he was bad. No, because there's many times he was cutting inside and he was in the middle of the park and he was doing nothing with it other than giving the ball away, overplaying the passes, getting tackled, getting knocked off the ball easily. That was all happening in the middle of the park. So it wasn't because he was playing out on the wing. It was because he had a poor game. Udogie was providing the width, and Udogie had a really good game, to be honest. And Xavi was letting us down time and time again. So if I'm the kind of guy that calls out Brennan Johnson for not making an impact, or Richarlison for not making an impact, I'm going to call out Xavi too. Xavi was very poor. So he does need to be played in the 10, and we do need to trust someone out on the left. And that's another problem that I think Frank can solve. We just got to give it time. Many of these issues can be fixed, but we've got to try and get behind the manager and just let it play out, because it's really early in the season. It really is. If you think about it as well, other teams like Liverpool, they lost to Crystal Palace. These results do happen, and not just to Spurs. Liverpool lost to Crystal Palace yesterday as well. So we've got to keep that in mind. Also, Chelsea lost to Brighton 3-1 at home. You know, the team Brighton that we drew with, and everyone was moaning that we drew with them. Brighton have beaten Manchester City and Chelsea this season, by the way. So these apparently lower teams are going to take points off the bigger teams this season, and they're already doing it. It's when people say we're not playing anybody. We are playing teams. Bournemouth are a very good side. Brighton at the Amex is a very good team to play. and we're getting points from them. Normally, when we go away to West Ham, that's a difficult game for us. I think we lost it last season. I don't think we've won there since before we beat them 3-0. We didn't win there since Jose Mourinho times. So again, we went to West Ham and won 3-0. We don't normally do that either. So that's another positive we can take out of this. This is a wake-up call, I think, to Spurs fans, because what's happening is we win a few games, we're near the top of the table, our expectations go through the roof, and we start thinking we should beat everybody. We've got to realise that every single game is going to be a match that we could possibly lose. There's teams beating everyone this season. There's so many teams that are dropping points. You've got to remember as well, we're not the only team that are dropping points to a lower opposition. Also, because the Gooners just won today in the last minute, we are 4th in the league. We're 4 points from top, just 4 from top. And a lot of Spurs fans are having a meltdown. Out of the 8 games we played, including cup competitions, we've won 5 and drawn 2 and only lost 1 game this season. Do you even remember last season? I was coming on here every single week talking about a loss. And now I'm talking about a late equaliser, a late winner. Late equaliser at the moment. But it's a lot different to coming on here saying, oh, we lost again, but this could have changed and this could have changed. We played poorly and still got a point. It's not good enough, I understand that, and we do need to improve and we do need to get better. But we're gaining points in matches when normally we would gain nothing. So, and we're 4th in the league. It's not all doom and gloom. We've got, a game on Tuesday against Bodo Glimt, and it's a winnable game. If we win that, we've won our first 2 Champions League games as well. It's not a bad season so far. Yes, we need massive improvement. We have attacking players coming back, which is massively going to help. Frank will learn every single week about what his players can and can't do. It takes time. He's a new manager in a new role, a new club, new players. We've even got players that are new as well that need to integrate with the team. This will gel. Remember what Frank did with Brentford? Everyone says Frank's a boring manager, too pragmatic, blah, blah, blah. You can say that. But at Brentford, they were very much attacking side. I think they scored over 60 goals last season. I think they scored more than we did last season with Angie's full-flowing attacking football. So they weren't. I think they were the 5th highest goal scorers last season, Brentford. So Frank is pragmatic. He sorts the defence out first, but he does improve forward players like Mbeumo, Ivan Toney, Ollie Watkins, Schade, Wissa. He's improved all these players to top quality Premier League players, and they were bought in for cheap, by the way. So, and don't underestimate the impact that Mawani's going to have when he comes in. He's full of pace, strong, skillful. He would be a breath of fresh air compared to Richarlison. So it's gonna be okay. We're okay. We're 4th in the league. We probably would have bit your hand off to be 4th in the league last season, and we're 6 games in and we're 4th and we're 4 points from top. We're doing okay. We've got some harder games on paper coming up, but I feel like we do better against the teams that come at us rather than the teams that sit back. So it could be okay. I'm still well behind the manager, and I'm very shocked that people are starting to turn on him already. That's crazy in my eyes. You don't need to be turning on your manager already. There are a few players that are probably not good enough to be playing for Spurs, but they're slowly getting weaned out. Look at Brennan Johnson now, like how much we were saying he was not impacting the game and he's not impacting the match unless he's scoring goals. He's benched now. Frank's already seen that. And I honestly believe Richarlison will be benched as soon as the other strikers come back and get fit. So he's starting to see it. He needs to sort out that left-hand side. He needs to keep Xavi in the 10. And when we're playing lower half competition, we need to start playing we need to stop playing double pivots of 2 defensive midfielders. I want to quickly talk about Paulinho as well. Paulinho is getting a lot of stick for taking his shirt off after an equaliser. The way he did it, I thought I missed a goal because I went upstairs to go to the toilet and I came back downstairs and Paulinho scored straight away. And I thought I thought, because the screen said 1-1 when he scored, and I thought it was going to change to 2-1 the way he took his top off and celebrated. I thought I missed a goal and then he scored the winner. So I was absolutely gutted when I realised it wasn't the winner. And I was like, Paulini, what are you doing? Why are you celebrating like we've won the game? It was crazy. And yeah, I understand his emotions were high and everything like that. He's probably used to playing for Fulham, and he thought that's a good result, but it's not. We should have gone for a win. But yeah, he tricked me. I thought we scored a winner. But other than that, yes, there's gaping holes in. Well, I say gaping holes. I say yeah, there's glaring issues at Spurs, and there are some tweaks that Frank needs to do in, but I don't think it's a massive problem. I think at the moment we're gaining points still, even though we're putting in bad performances. I still think the attacking play will improve massively once some more attacking players come back. We've still got January to sort out as well. If Tell and Odeburn Johnson can't solidify that left-hand side, then January can sort that out. I'm not that concerned. Let me know in the comments what you think of today's video, what you thought of yesterday's match. Thank you for watching, and come on, you Spurs.